Initiating System 1. System 1 loaded.
The GoreCast is brought to you by American Horrors, the greatest uncut horror channel in the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all horror. As well as the station of decapitation without your head.
America's longest running horror channel, www.withoutyourhead.com.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Hello, people. Welcome to the GoreCast. Unplugged, original versus remake. It is Tuesday, and we're back! Yay! I don't know what we're back from, but we're here. I don't know. I just finished an energy drink, so everybody just buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be a wild ride. I am going to be all over the place. Probably not going to sit still. Probably going to say stuff that doesn't make sense, which, I mean, is a typical episode. So, all should be good. Welcome, everybody in the chat. I see Katie. I see Roddy. I see Carter. I see Sweet Rabbit. I see Giz. I see the GoreCast. All the important people are here.
Givers.
Welcome. Today, original versus remake. We are a makeup episode from last week. Due to unfortunate circumstances, we postponed last week's episode and moved it to today. So we are here with When a Stranger Calls, because that's what we were supposed to do last week. And call does that stranger do? I don't know. I can tell by Carl. I know Carter kind of told us already before the show started, but I'm going to be a dick and poke at him right now. And you can tell he's very excited right now.
I'm still waking up, so my alarm went off. I did not get up, so I'm kind of dragging ass a little bit.
I think I have enough energy for both of us, so we're all good. Got some news bits today that may or may not suck. Who knows when I read news bits. We got some movies. Okay. You'll go handle that joke of Chicago while I get the show going here. So we are here. We got some news bits. I guess I'll go ahead and get started with that because there's really nothing else left to do.
Sweet.
Bloody Disgusting. I forgot the name of the movie company. But there's some movie company in Bloody Disgusting. Got a couple of movies coming out, and two out of the three news bits are about those. The first one is called Dementia Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. That is not the name, but anytime there's a part 2, it's got to have Electric Boogaloo at the end of it, just because of reasons. In Dementia Part 2, Susan wasn't always this confused, but she also wasn't always dead. Okay, do I got you right now? Am I hooked you on that first sentence?
Was it Cool Custom Studios?
Sure. We'll say sure. I don't know. I think it was something with a D, so probably not, because that's not with any D's. I think it was Dark something, but it's in the article. Doodlies is what it's called. So when a ex, I will look at it later. Good joke though. Oh, okay. I like that. It gets a golf clap.
Yeah.
When an ex-con takes a job as a handyman For an unstable elderly woman to avoid a parole violation, it becomes a choice that he may regret. Dun dun dun. I didn't write that. I just added that for some flair. But the film is been described as a immensely gross out journey of horror. So don't know what that means, but it's going to be gross. Maybe some poopies might be in there, especially if it's an elderly lady. She might not be able to control her bladder or butt. So maybe some poopies, maybe some just gore. Poop, yeah, poop out of the mouth and poop mouth. But yes, this is supposed to be hitting theaters and theaters in March and VOD and other streaming platforms in April. I don't believe there's a trailer that was released from what I noticed in the article, just the release date and a bunch of other interviews that I wasn't going to write down in my notebook because it's kind of long. I just wanted to get the essence of the movie. And that's what I felt like I got. Elderly ladies, handymen, grossness.
Alrighty.
So, strike one. Movie number 2, news story number 2. Another film that is going to be coming out from Bloody Disgusting and Films is called Honeydew. This one sounds a little bit better. So maybe, I don't know. Honeydew tells the story of a young couple who are forced to seek shelter. Yes, okay. A couple did the same kind of start, so I was making sure I was reading the right story. Honeydew tells the story of a young couple who are forced to seek shelter in the home of an aging farmer. There we go. We're getting good here. Next up, and her peculiar son. I forgot that part, sorry. When they suddenly begin having strange cravings and some hallucinations, what was that big word? Taking them down a rabbit hole of the bizarre.
Was there a taking them down the rabbit hole or just taking them down the hole?
It was.
I really feel like that's kind of important.
It was in the article. It said rabbit hole. So.
Oh, okay.
Not just a hole, a rabbit hole.
I was curious.
How's bizarre?
Right, like that's what I was wondering because, like, you know, they're gonna get taken down a bizarre rabbit hole, like, kind of some weird or Alice in Wonderland. But if it's just they're gonna be taken down a hole, that like is a whole new aspect.
I'm sorry, I may have missed rabbit. The director. The director says of the film that she made, that for those willing to take an insane trip to a hallucinatory and hellish night of terror, Honeydew makes for one depraved mood piece of warped humor and shocking violence.
I mean, it's got all the cool words in it, but I don't know. Hey, Reddy just joined the chat. What's up?
Hi, everybody. Just remember, for those who just joined, it's a rabbit hole, not just a regular hole. A rabbit hole.
Dude, it makes a difference. You know, like
it does.
It just makes a difference.
Yes, thank you, editor or producer. I don't know why I said editor. But yeah, so I think people are ready for a film with warped humor and shocking violence. I mean, it seems like that's up our alley.
Yeah, no, like that's always
and rabbit holes.
Gonna win me over, but
this will be hitting select theaters March 12th and VOD and streaming platforms on April 13th, which is probably around the same time that the first movie that I mentioned, because it just said March and April but didn't have specific dates. But since they're affiliated with each other with Bloody Disgusting, I'm sure they're probably coming out around the same time. So, side bit of news: Godzilla vs. Kong may or may not be coming out the day it's supposed to. Talks amongst yourselves. I know. I was just seems like the first two stories just didn't really get the juices flowing, so I thought I'd throw
Okay,
that
you can't
curveball.
throw that on the table and just be like, anywho, like, how far back do you get pushed?
Okay, guess what? I don't know. There's conflicting reports on that because one says like a week, the next one says 2 months.
It's my problem. Here y'all go.
It's Panda Watch, just like in Anchorman. The panda just isn't giving birth yet, so it's nothing we can do about it. Once the panda gives birth, meaning once it hits HBO Max in theaters, that's when we're going to be able to say it actually came out. Very, very New Mutants-esque going on here, and I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it.
Dude, so many films are starting to pile up on that corner.
I just watched New Mutants today.
Finally? Holy shit,
yeah.
dude.
I just, I'm just too goddamn busy. You know what I mean? I was able to throw it on today since we didn't have to watch movies today because we were doing last week's episode. So I'm like, I'm going to watch New Mutants today since I have a free day of movies. And it was okay.
The last time we talked about it, I'd completely forgotten. What'd you think?
It was okay. It was a bit slow, but it definitely, like you guys said, it definitely did what it advertised. So,
yeah.
No, it obviously didn't seem like an X-Men movie because it kind of was. I mean, there's a little bit of mentions here and there of the X-Men, but
but I mean, like they were trying to set up their own thing.
Yeah,
like they were trying to set up their own thing, and so I think that's kind of where a lot of people may not have liked it because it wasn't what they expected it to be.
And the thing is, like, I just don't know what people expected it to be. That's the thing.
I think they expected your typical like X-Men.
Yeah, and that's not what it was meant to be. So
right,
those people were stupid. I'm sorry if that's what you expected. I'm sorry if I offended you, but not really. What's that?
I said I think that's what it really was. It just wasn't what they expected. Your typical.
And it doesn't hurt that it was pushed back like 13,000 times. That doesn't help either.
Yeah, because then like people.
Because then it was released, and people were like, "Oh yeah, it was actually released this time."
Right.
And because like sometimes you think it might just be an April Fool's joke, like, "Oh, it's coming out," and then you're just like, "April Fools!" No, it came out, and it was okay.
I would have liked it because that was supposed to bring that whole new kind of like horror aspect to the genre, but since it bombed,
let's hope Doctor Strange 2 is able to carry on that flag of the horrorness.
I think with Doctor Strange being more well known, it'll have better chances of doing it.
Yeah. Last bit of news is another film coming out called The Night. The film centers around a couple. This is why I was like, hold on a second, make sure I was reading the right story. The film centers around a couple who leaves a party. The husband, who has had a few too many drinks and is a dick and won't let his wife drive. I was gonna say. So he has a few drinks and a malfunctioning GPS has made them lost. So they decide to stop at a hotel for the night. The couple soon discover they are trapped in a night of hellish torment. This is the second time I've used hellish in a story. But those are the words that they used. So
everybody wants to
don't really hear hellish a lot. But yeah, it's a night of hellish torment that will force dark secrets to surface. This Farsi language, which I don't know what Farsi is. I don't know what Farsi is. I don't know what is that a different. I know it's a different ethnicity or something, but I can't
Farsi.
think of.
A comic, dramatic work, usually buffoonery and horseplay, and typically including crude characterizations and ludicrous impossible situations.
Oh, for some reason I actually thought it was a different language, not like some kind of weird word play. Okay. Well,
It's also something with Latin. So I mean, apparently there's multiple.
Okay, that's why I was like, for some reason, I thought it was like a different dialect, and I wasn't too sure what it was. But it says this Farsi language horror thriller forges its own path by infusing mind-bending psychological thrills with cultural.
Oh,
Oh, Farsi.
okay.
It's Farsi. Just to let you guys.
Oh, I spelled it wrong. My bad.
That's why I was like, I don't. Yeah. So okay. So it forges its own path by infusing mind-bending psychological thrills with cultural identity and folkloric chills. It is going to hit. Sure. It's a Western Iranian language. It's Persian. It's Persian. Meow. Okay. So it is. It is. I was thinking of a Persian cat. I'm sorry. Theaters and VOD January 29th. So, okay. I was saying what Giz was saying. Yeah. So hopefully it's dubbed and subtitled because I wouldn't be able to understand what they're saying because I don't speak cat.
Did you say cat? Did you say cat?
Because I said meow, so I was just being.
Yeah.
I know.
All right.
I think I may have broken our producer. Just to let you guys know.
Yeah, no, I could.
You never know. You never know. That's it with the news. I'm gonna rip it out. Throw it that way. That news is gone.
All right, so eventually we'll all be watching a cat movie. That's gonna be
Meow. Yep.
Cat movie.
Right, meow. We're gonna watch it. We drink our liter of colas and right meow and watch some Super Troopers. So yeah, so 0 for 3 with news bits. I apologize, guys. I'm just going with what's.
No, I mean, like the second one sounded interesting. So
yeah.
And the third one, I think it just kind of got bogged down by.
I don't know anymore because I ripped the
fact check
so it's gone.
And mislocation with the whole cat thing.
Yeah.
So, all right. So tonight's show. The reason we're here: When a Stranger Calls. You want to do this?
Sure. I don't.
And
I need more saying, am I ready?
And it wasn't a hey, do you want to take off with it? It was a hey, are you ready to switch modes?
Yeah, I threw the paper that way, so I'm so done with news.
Okay, so
paper's been thrown.
We get to do When a Stranger Calls, 1979. It had Carol Kane in it. Like, I dig the shit out of her. But it centers around this high school student. She's doing a babysitting gig at somebody's house. The whole movie, she's getting these weird phone calls from this dude. Have you checked on the kids and just other creepy shit, The movie moves really fucking slow because it's just phone call. She's worried. She's getting kind of scared. Some more phone calls. Excuse me. We eventually find out the strange phone calls are coming from inside the house. Cops show up, and the kids that she's babysitting have been killed, apparently viciously. There's really not like a lot of visual anything in this film. It just watching
take everything for word because that's all you can see.
Again, it's from '79, so I mean, really had like a lot of gore back then. They tried to do more of a like imaginary kind of thing. You know, people walk in the door and just like see the room. Oh my God, what happened to these poor kids? We fast forward because we caught the guy that did this, and he winds up in a psychiatric or asylum,
Mental hospital.
mental hospital, and we fast forward. I don't remember a timestamp on it though. I think we just like
It's been at least a few years. I think
Yeah,
like 4
just
or
like
5 years around that range. Maybe
right,
7.
right, because the babysitter's now a mother. So I mean,
Yeah.
you've got that age gap, but they never really put like a stamp on it, if I remember correctly. So we find out that the crazed killer has now escaped the mental hospital. Um, the police officer, what was his name? Charles, who was originally on the case, is called by a victim's father. Is like, hey, he escaped. Go find him for me. This is crazy. He shouldn't be on the loose and shit. And so now the whole movie just kind of like stops, and we follow this ex cop who's now playing PI, trying to track down the killer. He goes back to his partner at the time, who's still on the force, to talk to him about it, and they're still, trying to figure out what to do, trying to find the guy, what have you. And then for like the next 40 minutes, like shit happens. I mean, it's just seriously watching Charles dance around trying to find this guy. We finally get back on track of the original movie because I mean, like he just stopped. Like they bring him in and a good story point, but then like he just stopped showing up in the movie. I almost forgot that he was in there until like he came back at the very end and shit. We get back to the mother now, going out for dinner. He had some good news, so we're celebrating and what have you. And they come to the table and said, "Hey, there's a phone call." She's like, "Oh, it's the babysitter, babe. I got it." And then you just hear this god awful scream from her, and everybody's piling in around her. And she's like, "It's that voice," because she remembers that voice. Like it brings that same bone chilling effect to her. And the only thing said was, "Have you checked on your children lately?" And so she loses her shit. We all run back to her house. And the babysitter, we're trying to call her. We get home and nothing. Everybody's fine, you know. And then everybody's trying to go to sleep, but she's freaked out. The husband's like, "Babe, I'll stay up. It's cool." Uh, God, it's just such a slow fucking movie. We eventually have the reveal. The guy was hiding. The cop breaks into the house last second to shoot the guy, and it's over.
Yeah, that's literally just it's over. That's literally like he's dead and credits.
Right. The cop takes her into his arms just like he did in the very beginning of the film when she was freaking out. And that's just that. A hour and 37-minute long, slow, boring fucking movie.
I've said this multiple times while when talking about this movie. This movie blew its load in like the first 20 minutes.
It really did.
Because like honestly, I had not seen this movie before the episode here.
Yeah.
I watched it. I know the whole storyline behind it. Babysitter gets the phone call. I would check children, and then I'm expecting this to happen throughout the whole movie.
Right.
And then it happens within 20 minutes, and I'm like, well, spank me. We got more of a movie that I didn't expect because. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a very just. It's yeah, and like you got I forgot the killer's name, but he's just kind of just going like showing up here, getting his ass kicked at a bar,
right?
Just trying to talk to this one chick, and it's just nothing happens. Yeah, nothing happens, and I'm just like, And then like it's almost like after, and the weird thing is like I'm watching it, and then like it's like when you want them to kind of slow down on something, they just skip right over it because it's like, and I know that kind of builds up the suspense and the tension because it's like at the end, it's like, how did he know where she lived? But then because you see him quickly pick up a piece like a newspaper, and then he just runs, and you're like, okay. But then if you're not paying attention, you don't get the puzzle because when the babysitter's like, "Oh, I saw you in the newspaper," and it's
Right.
like,
Well, usually
but you don't know that till
right, but well, you know what? I guess it would have her married name in there, so he could have like phone booked her married name.
could have, yeah. I don't know.
So
I mean, I'm not sure they were going to throwing addresses, in
right,
the newspaper. It probably had her picture, and he saw the picture and knew it
it did
was
have her picture.
her. So
Like
that's
it was
probably
her,
what.
yeah. It was something that she had done a fundraiser or some shit.
Yeah,
So it had a picture of her in the article. I
but they
like
go over it so quick where you're just like, that's where you're kind of would be like, okay, maybe we see him doing that to kind of okay. And then the other thing was that I had an issue with is when the private eye dude he goes to the mental hospital towards the beginning or middle, if you want to say, and they're listening to like a recording of like a session that they do with him where he's like,
right.
nobody should touch. I'm like, maybe if we could have filled a little bit more of the movie with maybe him in the asylum, seeing more
Maybe spent more.
character
Well, and
work for him to know maybe what is going on as opposed to he's just fucking crazy.
well,
Pretty
and
much
I
is
mean,
what.
like they again, it's really built on your imagination because you don't really see the killer till what was that, like halfway in, and
Yeah,
you know
once he breaks out, then you see
right,
him all the time for the rest of the movie.
they spent a lot of time, like, oh well, what happened to the kids? We couldn't find a weapon. He used his bare hands. Like they wanted to build this monster, and sadly, like the monster I had in my mind from here to when we meet him and we see him in the bar, I'm like, really?
Yeah,
This is our boogeyman? Like it
and
just
and another thing is they give us the most out of shape private investigator, which I mean, I
yeah,
guess that must be the thing back then because that dude escaped so many times throughout this movie when he literally should have been like within the grasps of the private investigator. Like this movie should have ended like three or
well,
four other times, and he's like,
and
"Oh my god, you're running too fast." It's like, "Oh, come on,
and
dude."
unfortunately, he didn't have the badge where he could just shoot a motherfucker. Like as a
Oh, yeah,
PI, a lot more questions why you shoot
that's
a
another
motherfucker.
thing you can't get away with these days. Is do you have a badge? Yeah, yeah. He's like, I lied. I don't have a badge.
Right.
You just let somebody a stranger in.
So like that may have helped him or something. I don't know. I mean, like the shitty thing is, like I said, dude, it had a cool cast. It's got Charles uh, Durning that played the cop, Carol Kane who played the babysitter. There was a lot of cool fucking faces in it, but it just, like you said, it blew its load in the fucking beginning, dude, and
It
then it
was
just
just a
tracks.
good movie with. It was a good movie sandwich with shit in the middle. Like the beginning and end, okay. The middle, it was like eating something disgusting. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so it was like you said, it was so slow in the middle that it was almost like a different movie. Like we had what was going on in the first, like I said, first 15, 20 minutes, however long, that little whole issue with her getting the phone calls and to check the babysitter, da da da. And then like right after that, it's like, oh, new movie time. Because it was like such a different, I don't want to say tone, but like I don't know. I just didn't. I don't know. I just didn't like it. It
Right.
was
Well, and Reddy was like, it's such a weird movie because it is. Like you expect so much, but nothing really ever happens.
yeah. So
I thought like the cop could have been a cool thing, but it just they start it and then they stop, and then we just slowly go back into the whole mom kids thing, which You know, I was thinking about it because, again, I hadn't seen either one of these. I was sitting there during the first one, like, okay, if we'd cut out the more interesting, then I watched the remake. No, the cop thing at least gave it something else to do. Because no, this is definitely one that I
Yeah.
will not be watching again, dude.
No, like I said, I've heard so much about this movie, and it's that, like I said, it's that first 10 or 15 minutes, the whole tension of like her constantly keep getting the phone calls, and that whole, like, I mean, that's infamous line. It's like the call is coming from inside the house. Like it's
Right.
like a really known big line in like just the history of horror, at least like in that time period, and it's just like you watch it and you're just like, man. What a blue balls of a movie. I was expecting so much and then just
Oh yeah. Well,
cock blocks.
and like Johnny says, this one just kind of really gets miscategorized. Um, I can see why it does, but yeah, this is more like a kind of cop thriller. Yeah, there's some psychological aspects to it, but this really has nothing to do with horror.
Yeah. I don't. That's all I kind of. Not too much more to. I don't know if the chat has anything going on, but yeah.
We just got a friendly reminder of, hey, everybody needs to be nice to each other in the chat and not harass everybody. Then it was brought up like, don't you harass the hosts? And I was like, it's okay. it's okay. He's the boss.
I don't know what's going on in there, but it's being slightly distracting. I know it's fun. I know. I know. I saw it, but I didn't know if whatever. We'll
So,
talk about it later.
So yeah, that's When a Stranger Calls, 1979, rated R. And I'm assuming it's for the language because it really wasn't for the violence.
For nothing, because nothing happens.
Yeah.
Were they swearing in it much? I don't know. He kills them, but we don't see
we
it.
never see it.
That's true. They are dead. That's 79, so there's no PG-13 at the time. So maybe the R thing is, I don't know. When a Stranger Calls, 1979, do better.
Yeah.
Do better. I don't know how you can do that because you can't go back in time and remake the movie because it was remade. I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I literally had no idea that there was anything else in the movie besides that first 20 minutes, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm like, I was watching it and I was like, it was like the call's coming from. I'm like, did I get some condensed version that I'm watching or what? Because I clicked the thing, it's like you still have 1 hour and 15 minutes left. I'm like, what the fuck else is there in the movie? Everything just happened right there.
And when a movie like blows up like that quick in the beginning, I'm like, oh, okay, so we're about to have some shit. No, not this time.
So our suggestion is watch the first 20 minutes, take a quick nap for about an hour, wake up, and you'll be good because that's pretty much all you need to see of When a Stranger Calls, 1979. Oh, fuck, I forgot about it. We'll do
rating.
We'll do after the trailer. We'll cut to the trailer, let us think about it for a second, and then come back and we'll give you our GoreCast ratings.
On a warm September evening,
Dr. Manakis?
Jill Johnson was babysitting for the 2 young children of a wealthy doctor.
Okay. Bye.
They told her where they would be and when they would be home. They told her everything she had to know, except what to do when a stranger calls.
Hello?
Have you checked the children?
What? Hello, could you get me the police?
Well, there's really nothing we can do about it down here.
Have you checked the children?
He's watching me through the windows.
Well, if he calls again, we can try to trace it.
Why haven't you checked the children?
Please, can't you help me? I'm all alone here. What do you want?
Your blood.
Leave me alone!
Jill, this is Sergeant Sacker. We've traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. Jill, just get out of that house.
And the terror just begins when a stranger calls.
And that was the trailer for When a Stranger Calls, 1979. I love me some old 70s and 80s trailers.
Oh god, dude, yeah. It just had everything, dude. I fucking love the old trailers.
Am I back?
Yeah. You didn't go anywhere.
I had something pop on my screen that said like connection lost, and you guys were like frozen. I was on my end though, so that's why.
Yeah, I was saying I loved the fucking old school trailers, dude. They were just the shit. Damn near more entertaining than the movie sometimes.
I just didn't want to deprive the audience of this beautiful face, so I just want to make sure I'm all good.
All right. So
we're back. I'm back. I don't know what happened.
I opened this one. So what's your rating for When a Stranger Calls?
I give this a... Yeah. Yep. I give this a half GoreCasters out of 2. Not really good. It's, like I said, blew its load too early, had a bunch of meaningless bullshit for about an hour, and then the last 20 minutes was like, okay. And then it just ends. Like, boom. That's it. The movie over, and I was like, man, like I said, just it's the movie version of a cock block. Like, I'm expecting a good movie, and then I just get my cock gets blocked, and I get upset. I don't like cock block movies. Fucking movie.
I'll go with half.
You get a half star.
Like, I'll give it a half a Gore rating because like we never actually talked about like logistics. Can you do like no rating? If so, I'd give this motherfucker like straight 0. So I'll go with like half. Oh, then I go fucking 0. This movie just so. Oh fuck, dude! It was so bad.
Carter just blew his rating load all over this movie.
Right there, just no fucking way.
I love the sound effects on that. Just right all over that rating. Everybody in the audience, what kind of load do you give this movie? Do you give it a quick load? I don't know. I'm not going to stop there.
That's going to change the chat right there.
Yeah. Tell us your loads below. Yeah, so When a Stranger Calls was remade in 2006 because why? For reasons. People were probably like, hey, this movie blew its load too quick. So let's make the movie stretch out the whole thing to about an hour and a half instead of like everything happening in the first 20 minutes. Nope, this stranger called for a long time.
Right, that's what I said. I was like, what would this movie be had we not taken that little cop detour? This fucking movie. This slow fucking movie. That started out as a PG-13. Like, that just made it even fucking better.
Oh, well, see, this is the thing. Horror movies, listen to me right now. Let's discuss. I got to tell you something. Stop with the fucking PG-13 ratings. No, I'm just no, I'm not. I mean, if you want to zoom me in, that's fine. I got to back up because my face isn't that pretty. Horror movies, stop with the fucking PG-13 ratings.
Okay, but it can be done.
Okay, I'm talking to horror movies. I'm not talking to Carter. Let me talk horror movies for a second.
My bad.
I like the. I like that you're into it. Yes, but I want to talk to horror movies real quick. Horror movies. Stop with PG-13 rating, regardless of what Carter says. Stop with the PG-13 rating. You're a horror movie. You're not fucking diddly-doo Avengers. You're not diddly-doo, like, 13-year-olds can't watch horror movies. I mean, they probably can, but there's nothing really stops anybody. So I don't know where I'm really going with this. Just horror movies, stop with the PG-13. Let's be serious. You can't have boobies. I mean, we're going to find out. Yeah. The 13-year-olds just sneak in anyway, so just cut with it. We don't need it. They're not abiding by it. So just go with it. Just go to R, put that second. We're gonna talk about this on Thursday. Add that second F-bomb to make it an R rating. Because supposedly, if you can have one in a PG-13 rating, an F-bomb, but if you get a dose F-bombs, it goes to R. That's all you need to do. Throw in the extra F-bomb. Pretty easy to put out there, and just go straight R, like a pirate. Okay, you can zoom out.
I'm just saying though, man, throwing in an extra F-bomb just for the rating does not help. Does not help make the movie better. Oh, that is awesome.
I shouldn't be that big, just to let you know.
I'm just saying that, like, that big. Like, you look at a Happy Death Day, that was PG-13, and it was still a good story. Like, that's what this one's lacking. It's just like a good story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well, a lot of people are always trying to kiss ass to, like, the movie companies that put out the movie, like, oh, please give us the PG-13 rating so more people can see our movie. That's what people sound like.
Yeah. And when they win the argument, we get 2006 When a Stranger Calls.
I completely forgot we were doing that. I just went off, I blacked out, and I forgot where I was for a second. So yeah, 2006, a movie came out. It was called When a Stranger Calls. It was a remake to the previous pile of dog shit. They opened the movie with a murder. We actually this dude's doing this multiple times. I don't know if we really got that indication in the original that this is like, I don't know. They didn't really touch on it. Maybe they did.
The original,
that part.
The original would just give like the newspaper, just small, quick things. So they had made a comment that they had found like this wasn't his first time, like he had been doing it.
So we find the scene of a murder. Our stranger was already active, killing some children's, and we don't see it again.
Right.
So we are introduced to Jill Johnson, a bubbly teenager, high school teenager, getting ready to babysit for some muns, trying to get that muns. She babysits for the Mandrakis family, who have a big ass house. Like, that's a ballin' house. That's all I gotta say.
Dude, no shit. Like, the lights kick on for you as you walk in. Like, that was rich people money house.
Yeah, I am so goddamn lazy that I mean, turning lights on is a chore. So if I could have fucking lights just turn on, I need to get the fucking clapper. But I just don't like clapping. Kind of overrated.
See, yeah. Yeah, the only reason why I don't have one. Just the whole, like, it's weird.
Yeah. I mean, I like golf claps. Those are cool. I think just clapping's obnoxious.
I just don't think golf claps would turn on the clapper, though.
No, it would have to be a lot louder. That's the thing, is you got to be like, bah, bah, like you're playing fucking cymbals or something like that to turn on the goddamn fucking light.
I mean, like, because, dude, like the whole, like, the lights turning on as she walked through the rooms, like, that was rich people money. But then they had their own little, like, fucking, what's that called? Where the birds were and the fucking trees.
Yeah. People, you're getting ridiculous with your house.
We live on a hill, so we forget what trees look like.
Yeah. Stop having nature inside. Nature's supposed to be outside. So if you can get on that, fix that, we're good. So Jill, like I said, who is babysitting, starts receiving anonymous phone calls, who she kind of believes her friends or who that it's her friends pranking her, which one of them is, God damn it.
Yeah, the boyfriend that she currently broke up with for cheating on her with her best friend.
Yeah, sorry, I had that issue again pop up with my network. So I don't know. I'm in the process of like updating my internet, and I'm waiting for a new modem router. So I think the modem router that we have currently isn't equipped for what we changed our plan to. So I think it's causing the issues. But bear with me if I disappear. Is what I'm trying to say. But yeah. So Jill's friend Amber shows up. I'm friending with air quotes because I don't think really she's her friend. Because she kissed. I have Amber.
Tiffany.
Yeah, maybe that'd be cool. That would have been a lot better. I kissed a girl and I liked it. Taste of her cherry. But yeah, her friend Amber, Tiffany. I guess I don't know. I wrote Amber down, but we'll just say her friend. Made out with her boyfriend. I think it was. Yeah. So she's not happy. She's not happy about that because that breaks the relationship rules. Not allowed to go kissing off other females. What are you doing, guy? I don't know what his name is, but I don't fucking care.
Bobby, I think.
Sure, Bobby. Sounds like a douchebag name.
Right.
Sounds like somebody who would do that. So I apologize if anybody in the chat's name's Bobby. I think I'm good there. So hopefully I'm not offending anybody. But
just like
you have my Twitter, just yell at me. It's fine.
They picked a douchey looking guy to be a Bobby to represent not all Bobbies, but this particular Bobby.
Yeah. Anytime I think of Bobby, I think of King of the Hill. Damn it, Bobby.
Right.
Yeah, so that happens. Amber shows up, or Tiffany, or whatever the fuck her name is. She shows up to the house and then leaves like 10 seconds later. Jill's like, no, you gotta go. I'm babysitting. You can't be here. And probably doing this.
Being very professional. Very professional.
Yeah. She needs to earn her money the legit way.
Because that's what fucked me up for a second. There was a timestamp. The whole reason she's got this gig is because she blew up mom and dad's phone plan. And like there's just a hella overcharge. And they're making her pay it off. So she doesn't have a cell phone.
And it was 2006. So that was
right. So she does not have a cell phone to call for emergencies.
Yeah.
They kicked her off the phone plan until she's able to pay the overage.
Oh, somebody played her dad, which obviously that's
right. Clark Gregg.
Yeah.
Agent Coulson.
There you go. Yes, that's who it was. Okay. I did not know his actual birth name. So I was like, you said the name, and I was like, yeah. And then you said Agent Coulson. I'm like, yes, that's him.
It was kind of weird because there's quite a few people. Like her friend Tiffany was the Black Canary on Arrowverse. Then you had old boy Tommy Flanagan from Sons of Anarchy. Like it has some really cool people that didn't get to do shit.
So for some reason, I may have never seen him in anything else, Mr. Flanagan, but Sons of Anarchy. I literally thought that scar on his face was put on there as like a
sure.
I did not know that.
I didn't either.
He has a scar on his face. That must be real. He had a knife fight in Scotland because he's a tough son of a bitch. So he was also in Under Siege and other.
It wasn't until like I think I was halfway through Sons of Anarchy. I caught him in another movie, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was. But there were the scars, and I was like, "Oh, I thought that was like a badass makeup thing for Sons of Anarchy."
Yes. Gladiator, Braveheart. This dude's been everywhere.
Remember this.
So you can tell how much I really don't care about reviewing this movie because I keep going on to side things. But yeah, so we'll get back on track. And so Amber gets ambushed. She's leaving. She gets ambushed.
Sorry, I remembered where I saw him at.
Okay, that's where Carter saw him at.
Woo Assassins. It was a Netflix show.
So yeah, Amber is ambushed. We find out what happens to her a little bit later. Jill keeps getting calls, so she calls the police, and they're like, "Oh, well, we can't really do anything unless you keep the guy on the line, so we can trace the call. Because every time there's a caller calling, you need to trace the call from the caller." We've seen that multiple times now in movies that we reviewed. Black Christmas, when a stranger calls, if you've got a caller, keep them on the phone for a minute, and we could trace them. Now you don't even need to do that. You can be like, "Oh, he's using this cell phone. This is where it's coming from." We don't even have to do all that shenanigans now. So yeah, she does that. Where am I at? Yeah, that's what we need now. When a stranger slides into your DMs. Ooh, that's a good one.
Just swipe left.
Hollywood, call me. This is spam. So Jill thinks that the Mandrake's son, don't know his name. I don't know names. Just letting you know. Well, actually, I know Jill because she's the main character, and we see her a lot in this movie. She thinks that the Mandrake's son has returned because they mentioned when they first came home that he like stays in the guest house when he comes home from college because she sees stuff like a light or shadow going on over there. So she goes over there to investigate, but the caller still keeps calling, and he's not in the guest house anymore. The caller continues. The police trace it, and we find out that the calls are coming from inside the house. Surprise, surprise. Jill discovers Amber dead in the bathroom because that's where you put dead people.
This is one of those like where the timing is so like way too perfect because she went into the bathroom thinking that the housekeeper was in there.
Yes.
Finds the shower running, she turns it off, and then the killer calls her friend's phone, who's crammed in behind the door that she's standing behind. And it was just like, just way too many like perfect timings for moments like this and shit.
Yes. Jill then runs into the kids' bedroom, not to find them in the beds, but they are hiding in some kind of box.
Looks like maybe a toy trunk.
Yeah. The stranger ends up showing up, trying to break in the room. They escape there. They go through many different things. They go into the freaking jungle room, or the fuck that is, the stupid birds.
Right, with its own little watering system.
Yeah. Fuck this house. That's all I'm saying.
Like, okay, question. Because like we've seen this house now, like because they said, hey, the maid stays on the 3rd floor, and we've got the son living out in the guest house. Yet the 2 younger kids are bunked together. So like we just bought like a 3-story, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom house.
Yeah, well, where are you gonna put your mates? Yeah. Put them together, make them cat and dog. But yeah, you're not going to be able to put your maids anywhere. You got to, because you're hiring multiple maids and can't have the kids taking up all the bedrooms.
Right.
So the stranger continues his pursuit of Jill. There's something to do with water in the stupid pond with the fish. She hides. He attacks her. Turns the water system on. He breaks back into the house. They have a scuffle in front of the fireplace. And she puts a fire poker into his foot and disables him enough to where she runs to the door, and the po-po's right at the door. Good timing, like you said. The timing's perfect.
Yep.
The police are right there, and they apprehend Mr. Stranger. Movie ends, or does it? There's some stupid dream sequence that happens in the hospital because we can't leave the movie. Like, man, I thought we're all good.
Okay.
Hospital.
You knock it, but that was about the only fucking interesting spot in the movie for me. Like that kind of fucked me up for a second until I found out it was a dream sequence. That was like the only fucking interesting spot. Did I lose your attention span?
I was I was done with the notes, so I threw them over there. As soon as I'm done reading stuff, I want to get them away from me as soon as possible, especially when they're crap like this.
I think my biggest problem is like they focused so hard on making every scene important. You know, like the number of times that the camera would, instead of like doing a head-on hit with the refrigerator so we could see the phone list, they would just kind of hit it from the angle and like slowly raise up so you could see each name and number. They tried so hard to make every, and I mean, like I applaud like trying to doing good camera work and what have you, but when you do the same fucking thing all the time, it's no longer good camera work. It's just, you know, like you're trying too fucking hard. Like a grocery list is not that fucking important. You know what I mean?
Depending on what it is. I mean, if I rate some like Munchos or Funyuns on a grocery list, that's pretty damn important. So,
right, but to have the camera climb that list like 5 or 6 fucking times, it just, you know.
The funny thing is like I want to sit here and say with the original that it's like, man, you blew your load too quick, and the rest of the movie dragged. Well, this movie took it almost the exact opposite, and was just like, oh well, that happened too quick. Let's stretch it out within an hour and a half, and it's like, no, you guys
this
did
was
not
more
do it
like
the right
you know.
way.
This was like trying to blow your load, you know what, fuck it, I give up. Let's just go chill with Netflix or something. Don't even finish. Like, it was just...
It's just like, there's absolutely no character development whatsoever in this movie, I think. And we're stuck with the same chick for 95% of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, she's really acting by herself a good chunk of the movie besides, you know, the couple phone calls. No. And then the couple of people that stopped by for like a brief like cameo, like, hey Jill, hi, bye. That's like all we got.
You know, and I don't know, because like I look at her friends and shit. So it's not necessarily like maybe it was just I don't know, like was she bad acting because of like just what they gave her to work with? But I look at her friends and shit, the douchey boyfriend, like they were all lively. She was so fucking deadpan, even when she's like running for her life. She never really sold her scenes for shit. That was it.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's very typical like teenage horror, especially for that time period, where it's just like, you know, the acting was the same. Oh, I thought you were saying something. Yeah. Yeah, the acting was like the same as what, like I said, pretty much any like movies that involve teenagers that are horror movies. It's like the same exact type of acting. Like, you got the douchey guy, you got the bitch, you got the girl that's gonna prevail from the danger. No, we don't need it.
Like, shit was going on so slow. I actually sat there and like dragged out the where she was eating a popsicle, and then like walked over and like dropped it into the little. It was a bucket sitting on the bar with all the drinks and the glasses, and I'm like, one more foot and you're in the fucking kitchen. You're just gonna let this shit melt. Wow, and you were being so professional. What the fuck?
So if that's where we're really critiquing it is the way you eat a popsicle movie, then
not really the way you eat it, just the way you dispose of it when you're done with it.
Yeah, don't be a wasteful bitch. Is pretty much what we're saying. You're wasting all that. Well, was it gone though?
Yeah. Well, no. Like, she was in the process of it. The phone thing started happening, so she was like trying to call one of her friends to see if they were fucking with her, and she just happened to be standing there by the bar and was like, dropped it in the bucket, and then like went to go investigate shit.
Screw the rest of the movie. This is where we need to really have our discussion. Is this damn popsicle situation?
Like, I
do remember that.
I got to clean up after your ass. That's bullshit.
Yeah. Jill, you will not be babysitting my children. Just to let you know. Number 2, my house doesn't have a second house and like a fucking rainforest in it, so probably my house is probably not good enough for you. Probably. I'm probably gonna only be able to pay you in Pringles, no actual money. So,
Well, and what bothers me in both these fucking movies, like, I don't know, man. I'm sitting and like maybe that's from a parent's point of view. I'm sitting at home and I get a phone call. Have you checked on the kids lately? First thing I'm fucking doing is checking on my kids. Out of panic, like even if it's just some bullshit, at least I now have like looked at my fucking kids. Both these babysitters are like, you stop fucking with me, man. Okay, right there, you have failed your job. Like your only gig is to check on my fucking kids.
Yeah, that movie could have been a lot shorter if you just checked the children.
Katie wants to know what flavor of Pringles you're offering. You're gonna go high dollar and like some cheese.
Slide into my DMs. We'll discuss it later.
Looking for
that's that's right. That's where I discuss my Pringle payments. Probably no, whatever flavor you like. They're all the same price.
Oh,
they
that's
don't
right.
Charge extra. So, yeah, Pringles are Pringles. That's what 2020 needs. Push all this negativity aside. Pringles are Pringles. And I Buzz. I approve this message.
So yeah, like I said, dude, I'll say I didn't like this movie because it dragged out even fucking slower than the first one did, and I did not think that was possible.
So you guys be very, very surprised when we give our GoreCast ratings after the trailer, because it's going to be a doozy. So we'll cut to the trailer and we'll give you those scores, and then we'll let you know what's going on with the rest of the league and all that good end of the episode stuff. Trailer.
Hello? Is anyone there? I could have at least driven myself, Dad.
I don't want you driving home alone this far so late at night. Wow.
You must be Jill. We were so thrilled to find a babysitter at the last minute.
Just make yourself at home.
Hello?
Have you checked the children?
This feature cannot be used with the number.
Hello? Who is this?
Hello?
Bobby?
Jill, is that you?
Have you been calling me? Can I speak with the police?
Has he threatened you?
He just keeps on calling.
You're safe inside that house.
Why are you doing this? What do you want? Stop calling me, you
Jill,
sick...
it's the police. We traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. You hear me? It's coming from inside the house.
And we're back. That was the trailer. Excuse me, I'm going to burp. Oh, okay, we're good. That was the trailer for the 2006 remake, When a Stranger Calls, a.k.a. Fuck Your House. Carter, what are your star ratings of When a Stranger Calls?
All right. Because this one actually had like a little bit more action to it and stuff like that, I will go with half a Gore star. I mean, because like it's still slow as balls, dude. But they did liven it up a little bit, Like even though she sucked ass at acting and really didn't sell those like scary scenes or those moments, there were still those moments in there, like trying to hide the kids, her cat and mouse and all over the fucking house with the killer and shit. So I have to at least acknowledge like that aspect of it and go with half a rating.
Carry the one. I give it a 0 because it was stupid. And I think that's all I need to say. 0 because Well, I gave it a half a star. No, 1, because we both I gave the first one a half star. Carter gave this one a half star, and then we each gave 0, so that's a 1. 1 out of
2.
Yes, you didn't hear that, but he said my testicles were numb. Well, I was gonna say the equal star if you combine them, but that's not what we're doing. Okay, so I went over my head, and I don't know what he was talking about, but now I do. So 0.5 of a star out of the rest of the numbers. 4 out of 4 because there's 2 stars each. Yeah, we didn't like these movies, guys. Let's be honest with you. I'm more interested about the Pringle talk, and I just made that up. So that's how interesting these movies are. So I think that's kind of wraps when a stranger calls all up in a bow. I know Thursday. One second, because I need to get in my ears. Is there anything that I need to do for Sunday? Do you guys have anything? Okay. Mind control. Okay, so I'll start with Thursday because that comes chronologically first. Thursday, our group chat episode's gonna be very, very sweary because we are cursing, stuff about cursing, history of cursing, and stuff that is cursed. There's just a lot of curses going on when we are going to be talking about the history of swearing, or is that what it's called, or curse words, or
history of swear words?
Swear words. Okay. History of Swear Words, hosted by Jeff Goldblum. Jesus fucking Christ.
Nicolas Cage.
I had a brain fart. I apologize.
I would be curious as fuck to see Jeff Goldblum roll that one. Yeah. I think it would be just as entertaining.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum is smooth, and I think that's what just fucking rocked.
Yeah, I was say he could word your pants off, and you'd be like,
like, this is where fuck came from. Fuck? What, bro? Who? You? Okay.
Yeah. So let me fix that. It's The History of Swear Words, starring Nicolas Cage, not Jeff Goldblum, 2 completely different people. Grave Dancers and The Exorcism of Emily Rose. We will be doing a group watch tomorrow over on Horror Amino. If you're over there, join us around the same time that the podcast starts, around 7 p.m. EST and 12 a.m. GMT, right? Okay.
Yep.
After that, that's all I know. You guys have to figure the rest out time-wise. Yeah. Trying to get more, involvement with the audience and stuff like that. We're going to be trying to do group watches every Wednesday over on Horror Amino, which will feature one movie or episode or whatever we end up doing of what we're going to be talking about in our group chat episodes on Thursday. Discussions in the chat. We might talk about it the next day on the episode, kind of what we all discussed in the chat. Some new stuff we're going to throw. We're just throwing stuff at the fan. And if you guys want to, the link to the chat room will be coming in the little chat feed there momentarily. So if you want to join, go ahead.
Now, didn't you say you were also wanting to try to ask everybody for help because you were wanting to do a count the Gorecasters swear words?
Oh, yes.
Because I swear too much to be able to keep track of my own fucking swearing. I'm not going to lie, dude.
So I came up with this grand old idea for Thursday's episode, since it's not all around swear words, but at least the miniseries will be. I wanted to, because we swear sometimes on here. It's a potty mouth, a poop comes out of our mouth. There's a bunch of poop mouths, Johnny especially. So we wanted to have a counter through the whole live stream of how many times we all swear. So
just to see who's just got the foulest mouth.
Well, I wasn't going to say, I was just going to count them all together. Like I wasn't individually, but if you want to do individually, that's all up to you guys. Whatever way you want to do it. Well, yeah, all one count of all four of us, our collective potty poop mouths. We want you guys to count how many times the four of us swear throughout the whole app and give us a time stream. So
such a notebook.
Yeah. So if one of you guys want to be the leader and have a notebook
but it was also only like certain words because we were trying to stay into the Netflix one, right?
Well, I mean, I said that in the chat earlier, but I didn't really. Yeah, just curses in general. But the one thing is, we can't swear just to add to the number. It has to be natural. We can't like. I know we can swear naturally. I'm just saying, like, you don't need to
keep it natural.
Yeah, well, I just don't want us to be kind of try to say like fuck as many times just to kind of keep the number. We'll make it natural. We don't want them to explode trying to count these things because that can be out of hand. But yeah, so that's going to be your guys' job on Thursday's group chat episode to count how many times us four knuckleheads swear from the beginning of the stream to the end of the stream. There's no prizes. There's nothing involved. It's just
general curiosity.
Yeah, we just want you guys to be involved with the show. So, but that's Thursday. Sunday, we have Johnny and the Giz will be returning for I forgot already because
Mind Control films.
Mind Control.
What shit?
The
fact that he told you and it's just blanking him out.
Because you kept adding things to things that I forgot and that my brain can only hold so much. Mind Control. And they'll be doing Videodrome. They live. And one yet to be determined. That's not the name of the movie. That's just they are determining the movie. So don't think you're looking up.
They Live sounds familiar.
And then that's on the regular podcast, the Old School Sunday. But before you can't tell I'm getting all this into my ear holes right now.
That's why it sounded familiar. Okay.
But before we tell you guys what's going to be over on American Horrors, you got to do the usual. We're on YouTube, guys. So we need to tell you guys. We need you to like. We need you to subscribe. There's buttons that you press. YouTube's not new. You know the routine. So if you can help us out, we appreciate it. We'll give you a thumbs up when we see you somewhere. On screen, most likely. But yeah, we're YouTubers. I mean, it's weird to say it out loud.
How we survive.
But you give us the thumbs up, the likes, and tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Just tell everybody. People you don't like, people you do like. The more, the merrier. We don't discriminate. We want everybody to come to GoreCast for this professional style programming that we give you 3 times a week. And 1 time on American Horrors, which is what I'm going to get to now. Join Johnny and the Giz on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. CST, whatever equates yours GMT, as they look into some mind control movies that ties into the podcast of the Old School Sunday episode. So I'm Buzz, and next time I'm going to write all this stuff down so I don't look like an idiot, because I am a professional YouTuber. Carter, any parting words before? Before my head explodes.
Yeah, Buzz is going to write it all down. We'll see if that plays through.
Wait, what am I doing?
Huh? What? Right. Thanks for watching all.
Oh, I ruined that because I was like, he's like, Buzz is going to write it down. And I was like, wait, what am I doing? And I was like, oh, bye, y'all. And it was supposed to be funny. God damn, frozen up. I'm leaving. I quit. Oh, that's fine.
Katie's like, no, I'm not going to share this with my enemies. It's what I enjoy. Only worthy people that should enjoy the GoreCast.
I thought we were gone. Hi, we're still here. Let's go. Bye. See you next week. Trailer's coming up later.
Component soldering is. Yeah. Well, what's going on? Are you doing another episode? Almost. I have another quick experiment I want to try with you first. If that's possible.
No. We're done doing experiments, right? Last week we said fucking wrap it up my arse. Okay, that's it. No more experimenting on this.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the rocket thing because that's a multi-purpose tool.
What do you mean multi-buttons?
Rewind. Fast forward. Loop. Right, actually, this gives me a good idea for an episode. Show myself because this Sunday, 8:30 p.m. CST, whatever that place is, GMTs, only on American Horrors, we're going to be talking about some of the craziest mind-controlled, brainwashing, and scientific brain tomfoolery known to horror.
Don't forget, if you enjoy our Madcap GoreCast horror hijinks, we stream 3 nights a week over on YouTube, Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays, where you can see a little bit of this. Turd spoon, god damn, I knew there was something I wanted to bring up in the... God damn, I don't know what a fucking turd spoon is, but I'm mad to...
Get it pretty in-depth.
Most definitely some of this.
With a new 2009 twist. She pulls out of her vagina.
I'll give it to her though, because like, you know how like magicians kind of like do something and they pause dramatically? She took that dramatic pause.
And occasionally some of this.
Our favorite Halloween movies.
What's up, GoreCasters? Welcome back here to the GoreCast. Yeah, okay, I'm here. I'm back.